Hello Internet! Today is a sad day for us because we lost Titin, our alpine goat.
We only had her for 1 month and a week. She was only 1 year old and she was giving us 1 liter of milk a day.
Usually we go downhill to the stream to drink water with the goat, and they know how to go uphill and to come back home by themselves. And this time we went back home without Titin and Ranza came back later on her own, but Titin didn't came back.
This wasn't the first time that one of the goats disappeared for a day. One time, Skipper disappeared for 2 days because he was stuck inside of the concrete pool near the bâtisse.
We expected to find her down at the Mas Brûlé, and we did find her, but unfortunately she was already dead and cold. Because we have 2 dogs that need meat or at least animal protein, and because previously they've got their animal protein with the milk that Titin, our now dead goat, gave, we needed to conserve the meat quickly.
So just after we found her dead, we had to skin her and cut her in different pieces so we could try to conserve her for as long as possible.
Today is the day after, and we are going to the supermarket to buy multiple kilos of salt to conserve the meat. It's really sad that one of our goats died. If you don't know, all our animals are free-range, meaning that they aren't like trapped someplace and they can leave if they decide to.
Because they are free, we can control everything and this kind of thing can happen. When we found her, we didn't know what happened and we inspected her body.
We saw no visible wound and we wondered for some time what could have happened to her because she was really young and it wasn't that cold yesterday, so it didn't really make sense that she died.
We were afraid she died of poisoning, but goats aren't known to eat deadly leaf for them.
When we opened her, we found a lot of grass in her belly, multiple kilos. Her belly was really fat. Titin was known to like to eat a lot and overeat. And unfortunately, we didn't know, but overeating can be deadly for goats. This disease is known as Enterotoxemia. I hope I said it right. Basically, it's a bacteria that is in the guts of all goats, but when goats overeat, this bacteria proliferates in larger amounts than it should be and deliver a toxin that can be lethal to the goat and ends up in organ failures. Basically, the intestines ruptures because of the toxins and the goat dies. And when we opened her, the organs fell out of her body and also some fecal matter that wasn't processed completely. So we think that her intestine ruptured, leading to fecal matter into next to her organs.
We called the shepherd that sold us the goats and he said that it was something that could happen in the region, especially because there are nowadays a lot more rain than usual, and this makes the azote in the ground rise and go inside of some of the vegetation. For example, clover are really rich in azote, and because of that it can help the proliferation of the bacteria.
Shepherds in general, when they bring the goats outside after winter, make an effort to not let the goats graze for too long in open grasslands. And with time, they increase the time the goats eat the grass, because grass can be particularly tricky for goats to digest compared to tree leaves. But usually when the goats are adapted to eating this kind of feed, there is no issue. And it's weird because Titin like did graze in this same grassland before, and yeah, we think it was overeating specifically.
This solves the problem for us on how to get meat for now, and maybe it will please some of the commenters that were saying it wasn't really anti-capitalistic of us to buy the meats for now.
It's really sad that we lost Titin, and yeah, it really leaves us a void because we had a really great relationship with her. She was lovely, she loved to be hugged, and she just was a really good friend to us. And it's sad that she died from overeating, but at least she died doing something she liked. The last person who saw her was Norbert, who said to us the next day when we found her dead that she seemed to really enjoy grazing around the Mas Brûlé. It's kind of funny because just the night that she didn't come back, we saw an episode of Futurama where Bender, where they simulate a reality where Bender's robots turn into a human, and spoiler alert, ends up dying of overeating and organ failure. It's macabre, but a bit funny at the same time that the same thing happened to Titin.
The other goats doesn't appear to overeat, so that's good. We really hope that this can help some people, either because they want to do something like us or just because they have goats, so that this kind of accident can be avoided. Some people may find it horrible that we cut her up, but this was always something that we wanted to do as part of our project, as we still want to consume meat and we didn't want to be hypocritical and keep buying it. This means that if the animals keep dying of natural causes, we won't have to kill them and we just have to wait for meat to happen. But of course, our goal is to keep them alive because we love them. Keep in mind that wild goats exist in these regions, so if the goats weren't happy with how we treat them, they could go away.
Actually, the shepherds that sold us our now 3 goats only got some goats from the wild while they were grazing their herd in the collins.
We kind of have a symbiotic relationship with them because we protect them and they keep us company and at times give us milks.
And again, if they want, they can always leave.
For the people wondering how much meat is a goat, it was around 200 euros worth of meat.
Which is far more than the price of a goat that is still alive. We are going to take some time for ourselves, for our sanity, but some videos are still programmed, so this happened a few days ago.
At some point we want to be able to film this kind of stuff to show you, but currently it's just too hard for us. It was horrible. I found her dead and really quickly I realized I needed to cut her up so we could salvage what we could of what was left of her, which was basically just a big flesh bag. And I really phased through whatever I was doing. I hoped I did a good job, but this was really horrible to have to do. The positive side I can have out of this is that now I have a really different perspective on things, and as long as nothing died, I'm happy.
The death of Titin begs the question, are we doing something wrong with the goats? Should we change something? What could we learn from what happened?
We want them to still keep their freedom, so we won't force them to stay in certain places, but we'll monitor more how their belly looks like and what they graze on.
Especially when they're young, because apparently older goats tend to be less glutinous. That's it for today. We love you and appreciate you. See you guys. Bye.